Out in New Zealand, they have completed its transformation into a full-blown police state. So, they are now a police state in New Zealand. The same with Australia. We see that Australia is pushing certain
exposure sites be put back in place, especially with reopening and people going back to pubs and stuff? Because our exposure sites still, will they be put back in place to be listed once we are reopening? Because they're not at the moment.
We will be looking at what contact tracing looks like in the New World Order. And yes, it will be pubs and clubs and other things if we have a positive case there. Our response may be different if we know that people are fully vaccinated.
And of course, those fact checkers, aka socialist scumbags, are going crazy trying to change and clarify Dr. Carrie Chant's choice of words as the video that you just saw goes viral. Let's define New World Order. It's commonly used to describe times of change and cultural shift. Yeah, okay. Good morning, fellow patriots. So, after yesterday's speech went exactly pretty much as we all thought it would, more tyranny, unconstitutional, illegal requirements being put down. They're going to use, like I said, businesses and other socialist commie methods to try and institute mandatory. You saw how Pedo Joe intentionally was trying to divide us between those that have and those that will not, making us the problem. So you saw the New Zealand head deep state scumbag. She said the quiet part out loud. But I'm the wacko conspiracy theorist whenever I mention that in any of my posts. So, based on yesterday's Australian video, you can quickly see where inevitably their wellness camps have already switched over to what they're really for. Okay, so it goes a little bit like this, and that's going to happen here if we do nothing. Man or woman says, no, I'm not doing it. Man or woman potentially get sick based on a fake, phony, false testing method. Man or woman get on bus for a 14-day stop the curve vacation. Family allowed no contact of any kind with said sick person. And lastly, oh, sorry, man or woman has passed away. They should have complied. So we already know these wellness camps will quickly become camps. And guess who's going to be first in line? Hey there, I'm back. So, as it turns out, 650,000 postal workers who helped in November endorsed the dictator-in-chief, they were exempted yesterday from the new mandates, along with tens of thousands of DC swamp maggots by the mayor there. Where is this all leading, do you think? Us being made the enemy. I have a good idea. I think you do too. Some state workers that I know that work in the same law enforcement agency that I did have been told that October 1st they will be mandated or weekly testing. No exemptions given, from my understanding. The RNC has already filed a lawsuit against these unconstitutional, illegal, dictatorial edicts. I imagine most of these mandates will be put off for a while as lawsuits are filed as quickly as possible. But it remains to be seen what we as a people are going to do. I don't include those who have already undergone the transformation to be on our side. There are some who have that still say that it's our right to choose. I can't figure out why they did what they did. It's right for me and my family at this time, but it's your choice line, knowing everything we know. It just doesn't make any sense to me, but that was their choice. They made it. They have to deal with it. I've made my choice, and I'll deal with it. But we already know it doesn't stop here. It will go more and more and more until we are New Zealand and Australia around the globe, as is the plan for the New World Order. There, I said the quiet part out loud again. It is time for us to rise up. What that entails will be dictated by the Democrats and the deep state. Pun intended, in case the tards don't get it. We need to be willing to take it as far as it has to go, because there is literally no tomorrow if we allow the tyranny to keep persisting. We can no longer sit back and wait for some white hats to show up and save everyone. Even if that is true, there is still going to be a tremendous amount of pain, suffering, death, injury, economic collapse. Everything that we think is going to happen is still going to happen. It would just be a difference of maybe the severity of it and the duration. But it's still all going to happen. You see it happening now. I hope everyone is getting as much as you can out of your bank or financial institution. Leave enough to pay your bills for a month. Get the rest out. If there's a collapse, or at least they shutter the doors or limit the amount, you've got what you can keep. It won't be worth much, but at least you'll have it. Everybody who doesn't get it won't have access to it, and then when the doors finally reopen, there may not be anything there for them to get. Food, medicine, supplies, tools, first aid. Get your group together and be ready. Best case scenario is it is a collapse, that everything is just ridiculously expensive and everybody is just getting together and living as a community so that they can afford the basic necessities. What we're going to run into is very shortly, if nothing positive happens, there'll be checkpoints set up at certain places. The buy, the sell, the trade, the travel. I was assuming that being shunned from society, I would be able to still drive to a gas pump, use my debit card, not have to go into the store, go to an ATM, drive through, not have to go inside, maybe a drive-through eatery, not have to go inside. But if they freeze accounts of all those who haven't complied, then that's all a moot point also. They are going to try and make our lives so extremely difficult that we finally cave in order to live. Well, I am prepared to not have to do any of the special things I just mentioned. Is that how I want to live? No, it's not how any of us want to live. But it is how we may have to for a while. 3 to 6 months, probably, if we're lucky. Food shortages, media blackouts coming, the dollar's collapsing by intent. All for the Great Reset, folks. I, for one, will not be a slave. What say you? That's all I got for now. Time to finish my round. Like, share, subscribe, comment, notification bell. But for now, JT, signing off. Stay strong.